fed up over those pesky travel fees? An expert reveals loopholes to saving money every step of your journey. That's in 60 seconds. Attention flyers, you can now keep your shoes on at more airports. You can even buy back your civil liberties. The TSA announcing a massive expansion of its pre-check program. We've talked about this on the show before. It allows travelers to fly past airport security, but it is going to cost you. Joining me now is travel expert Mark Murphy, CEO of Travel Alliance Media. Great to see you. You know, we've talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm part of this program.
You flashed your card the last time.
I did. You know, you got to give them your fingerprints. It's very complicated, but they're going to expand it pretty big.
Right.
They want 25% of flyers, 25% of travelers by the end of the year to be part of the program.
You think that's going to happen?
The government's doing
Government? All right. Well, we're hoping for it.
Tell us how big this is going to be.
Well, you know what? When you go through on pre-check, it is so fast that you can show up at the airport 20 minutes before your flight and get on your flight.
I know.
It's night and day. You don't take your shoes off. Don't take your belt off. Put your liquids through. Put your computer through. Wear your jacket.
We're coming back into the country, going through immigration, hundreds of people in front of us, zipped right past them.
You get right through. That's global entry, though, a little different. But
that's how we get to pre-check, because you can do it that way.
But now, here's what's different about pre-check. Now, anybody can sign up and join pre-check as long as they go through the process. In the past, if you were a frequent flyer, you had to be a frequent flyer with one of the major airlines in order to get sponsored for it. And now you save money. Absolutely, $85.
Yeah, you got to pay.
That opens it up for 5 years.
So $85.
Right.
As I was saying, you can buy back your civil liberties, right?
Yes, you can.
It's pretty exciting. And you talked about how much faster the security lines are. Where do you go to apply?
You go to the various airports that have it. So I would go to the TSA website, find out what airports are participating, because not everyone is, and find out what airports have centers where you can go in and apply. Now, I think
did we put up the full screen about the airlines that are involved in this right now? Because almost all of them are, except Southwest.
Right. Southwest is not part of it at this point.
Okay, but just about everybody else.
Correct.
American, Delta, United Continental.
They're all going to be part of it because now it's outside of the airline scope. Now anybody can go and become TSA pre-qualified. For pre-check.
I like that. Let's talk about, we promised we would talk about fees, right? Because you've got some fees that we can avoid, and some of these I have never heard of before. Let's start with car rental and insurance fees.
Okay, so a lot of people will be asked to do the collision damage waiver. Right? That costs a ton of money, but you don't need to do it because, first of all, if you have a car and you have your own car insurance, you're already covered if you're driving
My insurance covers me. I never buy that stuff.
If you also have certain credit cards, you're covered as well because they'll pick that up as well. So there's really no need to do that.
Might be covered more than once, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Many times people duplicate themselves.
I love the human being fee.
Yeah. If you actually talk to a human being on some of these airline sites, you call them up and say, "Hey, I'm kind of confused. What's the best routing?"
Cha-ching.
There you go. They're going to charge you a fee. So you don't want to deal with that. You want to try to do it online yourself, or talk to a travel professional. Because if you're booking a hotel or a package or something like that, they can combine it up, and they don't charge you a fee, and you're getting some great professional advice.
All right. Resort fees. This is something
I hate resort
that makes me so mad.
You and I.
If you're going to charge me a resort fee, just put it into my hotel bill right away and advertise it that way.
Why are we having all of these fees in the business? It's because of the darn internet, because the internet puts the price forward. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to show the cheapest price possible, so when you sort lowest to highest, they show up first, and then they whack you on the back end. And we're talking some 5-star luxury hotels, to my dismay, are charging these resort fees when the customer would gladly pay it as part of the room. And then all they get into is an argument with the customer and get a bad customer experience.
Blame the interweb. Okay, UK departure tax. Now, I left the UK not too long ago. Did I pay it? How much did I pay?
Yeah, it's like £13, so about $20 at the low end.
Come on.
And it could be as much as $100, depending on where you're going. If you're flying to the States, it could be $100. So the way to reduce the cost is if you do a connection. So if you have to connect anyway, maybe connect through Dublin on your way back to San Francisco, and you'll save some money because you're going to connect somewhere in many cases anyway. And then you'll get the departure tax for the closer in destination and not pay the departure tax when you leave Dublin.
Don't they realize?
Representation without representation, it's a thing that's rampant in the travel business. You'll find taxes in this city where we're sitting right now in New York City that tax people like me that come in and stay in hotels because vote for the people here, right?
Nope.
I have no say.
You have no voice.
And taxes and travel, just not a good mixture because it just raises the overall cost and it hurts the travel.
Do change fees before we go here.
Yeah, well, the airlines, they've all done these change fees, and with the American Airlines, US Air, proposed merger, we'll see what happens, they went from $150 to $200 domestically, everybody matched. If you want to fly without change fees and have flexibility, go on Southwest. They don't charge change fees.
It's a great idea because sometimes you don't have much control over change fees.
Right.
If you're visiting a sick parent or maybe you have to change that up and it costs you hundreds of dollars ultimately.
And it's so aggravating because you pay the fee, what you do on Southwest and everybody else, but at least don't stick me with that last minute fee.
I agree. Great to see you.
Always good to see you.
Always nice to have you on, and thanks for the info.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Now we want to know what you think. Here's our question tonight. Should we have to pay the TSA to get our civil liberties back? Log on to jerrywillis.com. Vote on the right-hand side of the screen. I'll share the results at the end of tonight's show.